you know, a late stream was never out of the question here. But, yeah. We have side quests to continue. Are you the Minho that send on the 4SPG request? I see you got Hiren with you too. Thank you for coming, Spriggan. Yes, I'm Minho with Red Star. And you brought Aaron along. That's very encouraging. Hell yeah, man. With me on board, it's always smooth sailing. Anyway, what's this I hear about the Dragon Chariot going missing? It was over in the main plaza until yesterday, wasn't it? I have a question. Actually, what exactly is a Dragon Chariot? Oh, right. I suppose if you're not from Longport, you probably wouldn't be too familiar with it. I guess everybody knows except for Fairy. And me. It's a yearly tradition. Kind of a symbolic thing. Every year, the most influential people in Hayway invest large sums of Mira into prepping a high-class luxury car to put on display. Then they show it off at the Lunar New Year Festival to impress anyone with eyes. It's to make sure everyone knows how rich and powerful Hayway is. And here in the old days, he used to do it with boats and ox carts. Ever since Red Star came around, though, luxury oval cars have been the staple. At the festival, it gets toured around to every location you could think of before eventually being auctioned off. Auctioned off? And I suppose the Eastern Theater serves as the auction house. That's correct. In fact, the Dragon Chariot was supposed to be brought into the theater today. We were actually just having a meeting about it. Unfortunately, just as we were getting ready to proceed, it disappeared. If we don't do something, our company will be out of a huge investment. And that's not even to mention how much it'll inconvenience our partners in Hayway. Is there any way we can enlist your services to help retrieve the Dragon Chariot? Well, what do you say, old man? Let's see. Here's the thing. If we're being honest, this shouldn't even be an option. Van would immediately accept this request. A cool luxury car that's a feast for the eyes being stolen? He can't let that happen. Alright, we'll take the case. Hayway's not really in a place to deal with this right now, and I've had my fair share of experience with stuff like this. Besides, as a casual fan of World War Cars myself, I want to see whoever stole that beauty brought to justice. Casual fan, he says. That's what I'm saying, Aaron. But I'm with ya. You can't just let some two-bit thieves get away with something like this. I appreciate your support. To be honest, I was pretty worried you might not take the job. It's an incredibly expensive vehicle, after all. If you don't manage to get it back, Red Star will be at a huge financial loss. This may not be relevant to the investigation, but exactly how much is the Dragon Chariot worth? Let's see. The chassis base is one of Red Star's more pricey models, the Nexus 3. And then you've got the embossing work from a first-class professional, the pure gold ornamental pieces, gold outer coating. The manufacturing cost alone would be 30 million Mira. 30 million Mira? I can't believe someone would pay so much for a single car. And when it comes time to auction, the highest bidding price usually goes well beyond the original value. There's no doubt that these would be able to make a rather significant profit from it. I imagine they mean to use the money to fund their criminal activities. From a risk management perspective, this case seems absolutely critical. Alright, first things first, I need you two to tell me all the details about how the car was being transported to the theater. Any moments you could think of where the car could have been stolen? Yes, you see, the Red Star crew started moving it into the theater around 5 hours ago. They finished about 4 hours ago, after which everyone decided to leave. Unfortunately, right around that time, there was one issue that cropped up. It prevented us from being able to keep a proper eye on the chariot. Well, what happened? As soon as they started bringing the car in, the revenue service decided to show up for an audit. We were so busy dealing with them, there was no time for anything else. It seemed like it took forever, too. The auditors only had left a few minutes ago. An audit from the revenue service, huh? That's how it all ties together. And right after Fan Lu got arrested on false charges of tax evasion. Makes sense that the other businessmen would start being suspected of fraud too, but you gotta admit, the timing's pretty suspicious. Yes, it's hard to believe it's a coincidence. Either the criminal knew the revenue service's exact schedule, or perhaps... I'm ashamed at our lack of vigilance, but because there were so many crew members on hand, we assumed everything would be fine. Perhaps some of them noticed something we didn't? Don't you think you should have given them more clear instructions? You guys were the ones in charge, after all. Well, either way, it would be a bad idea to ask around inside the theater. We just need to take it slow and trace the path, step by step. Let's get to it.
Let's hurry up and finish this.
Let's move. After talking to them again, I do hope you'll be able to bring the Dragon Chariot back safely. As the manager of the theater, I can't help but feel responsible for all this. We prepare the Dragon Chariot every Lunar New Year festival. It acts as a symbol of Red Star's prestige. I really hope you're able to bring it back in one piece. What's up? What's up, Fuka? Sorry to bug ya. Aaron? What can I do for you? Actually, those people with you, aren't they... Yeah, we just have a few questions we'd like to ask you. You heard about the Dragon Chariot being stolen, right? Yes, I have in fact. I even gave them a bit of a hand when they were bringing it in. But, I'm sorry, I really don't have any idea when it was taken. Even the smallest detail you can remember might help us. Did you notice if anything felt off at the time? I think I might have been a bit paranoid, but I guess there was one thing. About 3 hours ago, someone from Red Star came back to the theater with a big truck. I assumed it was just some additional servicing that needed to be done, but I was so busy at the time I wasn't able to pay them much attention. That certainly does sound strange. According to Minhell, the crew started leaving the theater about 4 hours ago. Even if they had forgotten to take care of something, it would be unusual to send a single person without informing anyone beforehand. And Minho had his hands full with the revenue service right after the actual Red Star crew left. That would have been the best time to get the car without anyone noticing. Yeah, and I'm betting that Red Star guy she saw was a fake. If he played the part well enough, nobody would even blink an eye if he stole the car. I'm so sorry. If I'd paid more attention, this wouldn't have happened. That's not your fault, Ruka. Still, don't you think a truck big enough to haul the Dragon Chariot would stand out in a place like Longport? It'd take quite a while to find a place to hide it. Maybe someone involved in transporting goods might know something. Now that I think about it, the delivery guy, Anthony, runs mail all over Newtown. He's probably got a few contacts in the shipping industry. Would be surprised if he knows something. Let's get going then. About suspicious cargo.
On my way.
So that's why the delivery guy is in one place. So that way he could be part of this quest. Gotcha.
Got a question for you.
A truck carrying heavy cargo, huh? Well, I mean, Longport is a harbor city. It's not really unusual to see trucks that big every now and then. But actually, now that I think about it, I do remember seeing a large Red Star truck headed for the harbor district around the time you mentioned. You haven't noticed any changes in the area lately, have you? Any workers you haven't seen before renting out storage space or boats? I can't say that I have. Oh, but maybe. Something jog your memory? Well, you remember that warehouse where there was a murder about half a year ago? After that happened, most people around here didn't want a thing to do with it. But just recently, one of my clients, a guy named Lai Hong, said his company decided to start renting it. Heard they stopped using it though. I was wondering if maybe something had happened. Oh, that warehouse. Guess it makes sense people would be avoiding the place. The fact that somebody wanted to rent it at all smells pretty fishy to me. It's also more than big enough to hide not just a car, but the truck carrying it too. Looks like the harbor's our only lead right now. Let's go see what we can find. Man, of all the places, why did it have to be there? I agree. I didn't want to head there until we were done doing everything else. Looks like the story's over there, so we can go everywhere else first. That's good. We've got some ships in the harbor that are pretty different from our usual cargo vessels. They're a little too hoity-toity for me, though. Well, at least they passed freight inspection. Now I won't have to deal with them anymore. Let's see, can we sneak over here?
Ooh, this looks like a good fishing spot. Let's do this thing.
We already have the puffer. Oh. The story is just interacting with Marduk. I see. We can interact with them later. They aren't very important.
Hey, isn't that... That's one of the Marduk Company's high-speed airships.
Sleep.
Looks like customs in the middle of something.
Huh? Oh, what, Aaron? Oh, what? Can't go into any details in public, but we had to cancel some important drills today. It would have been the perfect chance to assert the Republican Navy's authority. Even thinking about it gets me all fired up. Huh. So something's stopping them.
We gotta hurry.
What's up? Although I'm a trader from Elsheim, I conduct business in Longport on a fairly regular basis. By the way, I couldn't help noticing the name imprinted on that vessel over there. It seems to be a Ballast-funded private military company. I may not have any direct working connections with them, but it's hard to keep calm when the name Ballast comes up. Aw, no achievement.
Let's do this thing.
Sheesh, this place is nowhere near as quiet as it used to be. I never had problems doing business here before. I with Hayway around the guild and the cops made sure to keep a wide berth if you catch my meaning. Oh well, so long as nobody gives me any lip, things will be just fine. They only set that basketball court up next to me recently. Youngsters are always coming around to play a game or two. That also means I spend most of my day worrying about the ball breaking my expensive stuff.
Take a look if you want.
Off of the 4 beats. So what
Thanks.
he's telling me is that we can play some b-ball here. What's up, Nick? Hey man, got time to kill? What do you say to shooting some hoops with me? Basketball, huh? Don't think this hoop was up last time we were here. Yeah, basketball's gotten pretty popular in Longport recently. These guys like to challenge people to games every now and then. Anyway, why not give it a go? Yeah, I want to try. You sound pretty confident there. Not that I mind, of course. Alright then, let's join him for a match.
Well...
One-on-one, let's go. Awesome, that's what I'm talking about. Always on normal. You'll need to change it.
There! Got it!
Oh.
Got it! There! Yeah!
Hey, got it. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Good thing you missed.
Nice! Nice move!
That's one.
There! Got it! Yeah!
Can I just keep doing this? Yep. 4 points.
Not happening. Nice.
It's so much easier to block than it is to steal.
Nice.
This guy has missed every single shot that he's taken.
Victory's mine.
Damn, you got skills. Thought I had that one in the bag too. Oh, lost is a loss. Here's a little something for your trouble. Shield tablet obtained. Who can have this? Yeah, think of it as my way of saying thanks for the fun game. Hit me up for another round anytime. Just don't plan on clinching another win. I think we're good on that.
I've got my hands full here.
So, what's going on in here? I wonder what happened. Are you Lai Hong? We heard you're the guy that's renting this place out. Yes, that's me. Is there something I can help you with? We're in the middle of an investigation, and this warehouse came up as a spot of interest. We were told that you had to stop using this one in particular, is that correct? Yes, that's right. My understanding is that they found some kind of issue related to last year's incident. Yesterday, someone from the security company that oversees the harbor showed up and said they'd be taking it over temporarily. And yet, did something else happen? Well, I came by here just a minute ago to take a look, and it seems like somebody else has been making use of it. That shouldn't happen if the security company is keeping it under lock and key, though. That is pretty suspicious. I hate to ask, but would you mind letting us take a peek? That's fine. To be honest, I was just sitting here wondering whether I should take a look myself. If we could learn something from it, I don't see the harm. Beak truck. I knew it. Listen, that's not your company's truck, right? Definitely not. Who in the world brought this thing in here? What's the security company up to? Let's hope the dragon chariot is still in there. Having found a suspicious truck inside the warehouse, Van and the others quickly proceeded to check its cargo. Unfortunately, the delivery bed was completely empty. Well, that's about what I expected. Must have just been a temporary storage location for them along the way. They probably realized how likely it was for the police to check the warehouse. They picked this location as a decoy. I just attempted to access a server of the security firm that controls this area. However, there's no record of any new issues being found with this particular warehouse, nor is there any record of them taking temporary custody over it. It seems likely the security personnel that informed you of the supposed issue was an imposter. I like how the little recharge station is just chilling there in the background. Can't believe they managed to pull one over on me with such a simple disguise. I feel so foolish. Oh? Kinda sounds like something about him stood out to you. Well, you see, I couldn't help but notice his hair was a rather striking shade of green. It gave me a bit of a startle, honestly. Green hair, huh? That means he'll stand out in the crowd. Purple, light blue, blue, blazing red, that would make Adol blush. I think they all stand out in a crowd quite much as well. At any rate, it looks like the thief brought the chariot to the harbor in this truck and then transferred it to some other vehicle. Whether it was another truck or a boat remains to be seen, though. Let's ask around and see if we can pick up their trail. I honestly feel like green is a more subdued color. Oh. We actually need one of these. Security level 1. Gotta first try like every other one, right?
That's a good law. I bypassed the security. That's a good law. No sweat. Conducting search. Conducting search.
Guessing it goes back and forth. Yep.
Conducting search.
How far does its radius go? Quite far, actually.
Conducting search. This is kid stuff. No sweat. Confirming surroundings.
Made it. First try still.
Control of the system.
That was a bit of a tighter time limit. Anyway. Bobos. Shipping worker. I wonder what all that hubbub this morning was about. What'd they want to use my boat for anyway? Seems like this guy works for a boat chartering service. The Copus tried to transport the Dragon Chariot by sea, then Navy.
Got a question for you.
Suspicious heavy cargo, huh? No, I haven't taken on anything like that myself. Well, actually, it might not be related, but this morning, someone I'd never seen before came in to charter a boat. Yeah? Mind telling us what they look like? What type of boat did they rent? Well, they were a man, middle-aged Navy type with a bit of a beard. I think he said he was an officer? No, lieutenant colonel. I thought it was a bit odd for someone from the Navy to be renting a civilian boat, but I didn't really think much of it. I mean, you get all kinds. Still, it's not every day you see people renting an orbital sail with a small barge attached. An orbital sail. Those are vessels with orbital engines that propel them more easily than a regular sailboat. Those engines are only auxiliary, however, as they don't provide much in the way of horsepower. That being said, if the barge is small enough to carry a single vehicle, the engine may be just sufficient enough to tow it. This Navy guy sounds like he's our target. Did the boat already leave? Yes, I barely taken my eyes off them for a second before they were gone. Sounds like there's more going on here than I thought. Should I not have rented out the equipment? Nah, he got nothing to worry about. Anyway, I think we got a pretty good idea of the scale of the scheme now. Let's find a place where we could sort through everything, like everything we've learned so far. We have to go find the guy who would take us to the island. See, at least now we know the entire sequence of events. So, to sum it up, we have people believed to be the culprits bringing a truck to the theater, moving into the warehouse, then renting a boat with a barge. At every location, they were disguised to look like someone who could feasibly have business there. But we were given two descriptions. A young guy with green hair dressed like a security guard and a middle-aged Navy officer. We don't know what the guy pretending to be a Red Star employee looked like, but do you think they were all different people in disguise? I've heard there was a phantom thief capable of mimicking the likeness of various people, and by himself no less. I doubt that's him. He would always leave a card, and puzzle whoever the protagonist is in order to find what they stole. But yeah, although he seems to be an isolated case, we should not be careful not to discount the possibility that this is the work of a single individual. That's true. I mean, I think it was multiple culprits. I've got a feeling we're dealing with multiple culprits here. It's the brothers again, isn't it? I mean, if it was really just one guy, there wouldn't be any point in making it all so complicated, right? They were probably only handing off the car to one another in disguise, so they would be harder to track down. Makes sense to me. So, who's behind it? You figured everything out already, haven't you? Well, the first people who come to mind are... It's a small group of amateur thieves, I'm pretty sure. I'm thinking they might just be a small group of amateur thieves. If a big organization was involved, they would have put together a plan with a higher chance of success. These guys prepped the warehouse and boat right before committing the crime, which makes me think there wasn't a whole lot of brain power involved. I mean, regardless of speculation though, they did still manage to get away with it. I agree. Looking at their plan, it seems a bit rushed and simplistic. It was put together very haphazardly. They seem to have only succeeded by being well coordinated and light on their feet. I must say, it also seems unlikely that the visit from the revenue service had anything to do with them. Yeah, that was a little too convenient for my liking, but it's probably not as relevant as we thought. Let's go back over what we know about these guys again. They're capable of rudimentary disguise, trust each other, operate as a small unit, and work fast. You guys also remember a certain threesome that fit that bill? Oh, you mean those guys we dealt with in Tharbad last year? Yep. The Devonsey brothers. This incident certainly does seem to fit their MO. Weren't they in prison? And according to a recent search, it seems they managed to break out of jail just a few weeks ago. There it is. It's still unclear how they escaped, but it's likely they had outside assistance. Well, that settles that. All we gotta do now is hunt them down. You know where they went, don't you? Yeah, they must have taken the dragon chariot to... Oh, it would have been the eroded cave. Got shut down, right? That'd be my guess. Oh. Damn it. We're gonna have to redo this. Heilong Shengzai. Most people tend to keep their distance from the place, but it's just close enough to get to with an orbital sail. Yeah, it's the last place I wanted to go. Makes sense though. There's a reason Almada use it for their hideout. Practically screams, "Hey, hide your stolen shit here, dude." But what do you think they're doing with it all the way over there? If they wanted to sell it off, they'd have to load it up again and take it somewhere else, wouldn't they? That's why I thought Heilong Shengzai gave off a more of a stench in the eroded cave. Not easy to tell just by looking at a map. But on the east side of Heilong Shengzai, there's a small path that links back up to the main highway. There is? I mean, the place is used for mining after all. Makes sense that they'd have a few roads for transportation. Gotta be long abandoned by now, though. If they disguise the dragon chariot somehow while they have it on Heilong Shengzai, they would have would have no issue taking it to land from there. That's pretty much the long and short of it, yeah. Man, we sure picked a hell of a target right after getting out of the slammer. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's get our asses over to Heilong Shanghai. Go over at the Eastern Quarters Wharf should be able to hook us up with a boat. Cool. Well, let's load our save and earn back our points. What's the most recent one here? This one. Yeah, so we literally just go over here, we'll skip the cutscenes and select our stuff.
Got a question for you.
Beautiful. Have you not talked to those guys? I didn't think it was a bit odd for a Navy officer to request a civilian boat, but I didn't think too much of it at the time. Definitely the first I've heard of someone renting one with a barge, though. Don't worry, the top brass haven't noticed a thing yet. The more you freak out about it, the likely you are to be a suspect. Still, I've been seeing an awful lot of new faces around lately. I need to be more careful going forward. Don't want to fumble things, you know? Somebody from Hayway got arrested? That's gotta be a first. The police start taking on the syndicate. Long before they start cracking down on us. But yeah, because he's like a former member, right? Let's just fast travel there. First ward. This is the closest location.
Time to depart.
Let's go. And the others, in an effort to track down the dragon chariot, decided to once again travel to Heilong Shanghai. Soon thereafter. Whoa. Look at that, guys. How close are they gonna get? Don't crash, fam. Nice. Well, look at that, guys. An orbital fan on a barge. I knew it. But it seemed to be just as you surmised, Mr. Arkwright. It still has the effects. They probably haven't taken the chariot too far. I bet we'll find them pretty close by. Let's be careful going forward. Mom, got it, understood. They drove this thing up fucking stairs? Are they dense? Nice work out there, brothers. We managed to get this thing's bits and bobs on the black market. Our mirror woes will be ancient history. Before you know it, we'll be out of Calvert and make a name for ourselves in a whole new part of the world. We could never have done it without your foolproof plans, big bro. Who else would have thought to get somebody to meddle with the revenue service? Nobody, that's who. Alright, that's enough praise from me. Besides, you guys played your parts to a T as well. Let's say, your disguise has gotten pretty convincing lately. Still, I think one of us really ought to consider changing his hair color next time. Hey, the hair's what makes me me. No way I'm getting rid of it anytime soon. Well, whatever. We should be proud of this one, boys. The bonds of brotherhood has secured us yet another victory. Let's say we crack open a bottle and have a toast. We deserve a little reward, don't you think? We can always just slip out the abandoned pathway tomorrow. Well, ain't that sweet? Brotherly love sure is a beautiful thing, right, Van? No doubt about that. Even let us listen in on their little plan. Nice group of guys, I gotta say. Too bad that's about all the time you're gonna get to celebrate, though. We'll We losers are ready to be back behind bars. If your bonds run so deep, then why not put all that energy into something that actually helps others for once? I'm afraid we have you cornered, Devonsy brothers. Turn yourselves in, and we promise to do you no harm. But what are you doing here? Actually, haven't I seen you somewhere before? You're the guys that foiled our plans back in Tharbad. Spriggan? Why did it have to be you again? Hey, we're not all that thrilled to run into you crooks either. You boys are at the end of your rope. Speaking of rope, how about you stand still so we can tie you three up? What, you really think we're just gonna back down now? You've meddled in our plans for the last time, Spriggan. You're toast. Don't get all cocky. Don't go getting all cocky just because you took us down once before. We'll give you a real run for your money this time. With me, brothers. You got it.
Time for you to focus.
Destroy them! You're freaking dead!
Fine, let's play. Displaying enemy stats.
Noted. Bam.
Activating.
Make it
Boost
count,
gauge limiter
Baron.
unlocked.
Oh, that did not do as much as I thought.
Seriously?
There we go. Good. Can't believe we lost these bastards again. Burn my soul. This won't be the last time you hear of the Devonsy brothers. Yeah, we always bounce back. Just you wait until we get out of prison. You'll get what's coming to you eventually. You're gonna live to regret ever messing with us, Spriggan. Is this my second playthrough? It is not. How's it going, Limari? Or maybe you guys could just learn your lesson and stop thieving already. You can act tough all you like, but that's about the least scary thing I've heard all week. Well, that takes care of these idiots. Now I'm just worried about the car. Is that okay? It would seem so. Nothing more than a few minor abrasions. I think we can return it to our client as is. At least the barge will make getting it back to Longport a little easier. Right, let's bring it back to the theater. A job nice and easily done. Except we have to drive it back downstairs. Huh, what's wrong, Van? I'm just remembering something they mentioned earlier. Like how you're gonna get any more out of me. You guys said something about getting somebody to meddle with the revenue service, didn't you? So, the auditing was part of your little heist after all. Well, yeah. The timing was certainly suspect. Oh, is that all? Fine. If you want to know who our partner in crime is, I'll tell you. The truth is this my first playing on Nightmare? I'm either brave, really good, or loony. A little bit of the second and third. I have played all the games outside of, I believe, Trails in the Sky. I guess it would be the original series. When I got to Cold Steel 1, I played on Nightmare, and it was all Nightmare from there. I even played Reverie on Abyss difficulty in my first playthrough. That one was brutal. That one I would not recommend, actually. Just play that one on regular Nightmare. Yeah, Nightmare's not too bad. There are some times when you have to build around your boss, but pretty manageable, actually. I don't actually know their name, knowing of the story. But I thought you guys were all buddy-buddy. And here I was thinking you had some connection to some big hotshot. Well, I guess I don't mind spilling a few secrets. See, we got word from someone using a pseudonym that they wanted to help us out. Their only condition was that we had to cause some kind of an uproar in Longport, and it had to be today. Said they'd even lay all the groundwork. Wow, you sure know how to pick 'em. Look at you using strangers to your advantage. Nice going, bro. But what's with these guys? Really, think they'd be more angry about the whole being used as pawns thing. Played all the Trails games too, but it's always too hard, and the second playthrough is Nightmare. Gotcha. Well, different strokes for different folks. This game is definitely more difficult than Daybreak 1 was on Nightmare, because they nerfed the whole S-Craft spam aspect of the game. Although S-Craft spam is still king. You just have to know how to abuse it. So, someone in Longport is trying to stir things up in Someone has been trying to stir things up in Longport. Bet it's whoever betrayed the Liu family. It makes sense if they were the ones pulling the strings here too. Anyway, before we return the Dragon Chariot, we'd better decide what we're gonna do with these guys. It'd probably put even more stress on Hayway if we tried to push him up on them. So let's try to come up with something else. Let's see. The Guild or the Cops? The Marduk Company? I mean, they did break out of prison after all. This is a problem the police need to fix, not the Guild. But considering it's the same force that arrested Fan Lu, it is possible whoever's been pulling the strings inside Hayway lately had a hand in all this. Maybe the better option is to turn them over to Marduk. Huh? Why Marduk? I see. Marduk engages in various risk management research opportunities that pertain to maintaining public safety. It would require a great deal of paperwork, but it should be possible for the company to take temporary custody of the Devonsey brothers. Fortunately, Mirabelle and the others and the security chief are currently in Longport, so they'll be able to assist in making the handover as smooth as possible. Eesh, can't say I'm a huge fan of letting a PMC have so much authority. But, I guess you guys do kind of have a knack for stuff like this. Fine, I'll let it slide. It's definitely more on the gray side, legally speaking, but hey, that's where we operate best, right? Anyway, I'd appreciate it if you could take care of all the formalities for us, Rosette. Of course, it shouldn't take long at all. And so, thanks to Van and crew, the Devonsey brothers were captured once again. With the case now closed, the Dragon Chariot was soon returned to the theater where it would await its new owner. Can we check it out in the theater? Yes, we can. If we want. Thank you so much for all you've done. So glad you were able to get the Chariot back in one piece. You don't need to worry about Red Star's reputation taking a plummet either. Yes, now that we have the car back, tonight's auction should be able to proceed as planned. Thank you all. I hope you know how truly grateful we are. It was no biggie. Just did what any fellow car lover would do. Don't you think it's time you got a new hobby, old man? I'm really glad it all worked out. I'm sure this car means a lot to the people of Longport. It does indeed. In times like these, that's all the more reason for us to upkeep the tradition. Hopefully it'll help bring back the sense of normalcy. We'll make sure the reward is posted on your account right away. Thank you again for all you've done. Sure thing. It was no sweat. Just remember to keep your eyes peeled in the future, yeah? Don't want anyone getting the drop on you again.
Mission accomplished. Great job, you guys. Reward deposited.
Really, Daybreak 1, you had to drop the final boss in normal mode. You play on PS4, and for some reason, even your party had bigger levels than the last boss. Couldn't be because one move that killed your whole team, always, even with all the defense buffs and equipment. The gimmick of the final boss was mainly, like, because on Nightmare I was able to survive. The main gimmick that caught me off guard in my first playthrough, which somehow I still beat the final boss on my first try on Nightmare there, was, I didn't realize that it's one of the Trails boss gimmicks, where they yeet one of your party members out of the party for the entire fight. There is a way to manipulate that, but, yeah, I had no idea, so I was left with, I was left with one party member I use a lot, one party member I use a little bit, and the other two were people I rarely use, so I basically had to whittle down the final boss's health bar. But I pretty much just abused, I abused shield crafts. Rosette's Cobalt Kern was a easy MVP. It was so good, just a straight buff to your defenses, just on command for 20 CP. So easy. And 2,000 shields. The only thing that beat it was Ketra's craft. But that one cost 70. Yeah, the only difficult boss fights I feel like I had in Daybreak, let's see. I feel like there was, like, most bosses I was able to beat through just sheer determination. One where I had to properly reset was when I fought Shizuna for the first time in the mountains. Because all of her inflicting freeze on your whole party and seal on your whole party is just absolutely insane. I had to counter build for that fight in order to win. I also tried abusing dodge tanking in this game. It doesn't work. You can't dodge tank in this game. Let's see. I think you're the one that put out the 4 SPG? Something about trouble with the cooking competition, was it? Oh, you were here yesterday. I didn't realize you were a Spriggan. I see you brought the prodigy along as well. It's nice to meet you, Aaron. Yeah, I just happen to work part-time for the guy. Anyway, I heard a good bit about you, Meishin. And also, now that I think about it, I remember. I think there may have been one other boss fight where I reset. Do I have the DLC stuff always? I only grabbed like some of the free DLC stuff. I didn't buy any. I'm trying to think. Like, one of the things that helped was, as I went through the story, I believe at a certain point, every single person in the party had the HP quartz on. Because just having like 1,500 or 3,000 more HP it's good. You take those. You love to have a little bit of extra HP because the Dante's boss fights were brutal. So I also had a lot of Zerum powders. I believe I saved all the Zerum powders. I think I used maybe one throughout the story before the final boss. And when the final boss happened, I'm like, but when the final, like, I like beating the final boss without abusing like the Zerum powder stuffs. However, I do like doing New Game Plus when I try to get 100% if I miss something, and I usually miss something. Especially with like the LGC stuff. I abused the crap out of the Zerum powders in the final boss fight and trivialized the whole thing. It was so much fun. But I only used Zerum powders when I needed to. I think I may have used a Zerum powder in the final boss fight in order to do a revive. I believe Agnes was in the final group, so it allowed her to get an insta revive on everybody. That was a big help. More than likely, if I don't know if Catra was around, but I think Rosette got teleported away. I think I had Judith. I had Judith, Catra, Agnes, and I think Aaron. So, and none of them were like my main attackers in that final boss fight. But yeah, the fight becomes easy the moment you get Van back, of course. Grendel S-Crass trivialize every fight. They actually toned it down slightly, it feels like, in this game. And even then, it's still very strong. I need to drink water and actually continue on this side quest. We have to do some cooking competition thing. But around town is that a really skilled lady took over this place 2 years ago. Even managed to brush off pressure from the Lai family. Really? That's so cool. That's because my big sister's a Teiji Chushi. Oh, I've heard that's the highest rank a chef of Eastern cuisine can reach. Kanchan, you always make such a fuss over nothing. You know how I feel about all those big titles. You know, I actually think I've been here before. I remember there was an old man running the place back then. Told me his eldest daughter was in training over at the restaurant in Kowloon Hotel. I'm guessing you're the daughter he was talking about? Your old man must be pretty proud. Now, there's some praise I do like to hear. Would you mind if we got back to the matter of my request, though? By all means. But I'll admit, this cooking competition doesn't sound like the kind of thing you need a Spriggan for. The Great Langport Cook-Off, right? All the restaurants in the area are free to participate. I've been to it a few times myself. I actually plan on going to this year's competition, too. With all the trouble around here lately, it'd be nice to have something to lift our spirits and take our minds off things. There's another side to it, too, though. The elders who support each restaurant use it as a competition to maintain their standing. As it stands now, the head chef at Taoyuan restaurant, which is currently closed, has been invited. So that has new food. That has the new. So has the new food truck in town. I was adding a word there. Italian restaurant. That's the place we were at when we fought the remnants of the Lai family. I'm surprised to hear they'll be participating. It sounds so exciting, especially with so many people involved. Honestly, I'm a little nervous about it all. You see, the usual event space isn't available this time around, so they asked me to hold it here instead. I was supposed to be at the Kowloon Hotel, however, with all the issues that have cropped up recently, they decided to opt out of participating. And with me trying to get ready to enter the competition myself, I'm just about at my wit's end. I was hoping that maybe you could help me out a bit. Is that something you could do? Let me think. Well, like you said, not really something that we do, but sometimes we like being a little bit of a lawful goody two-shoes. Alright, we'll take your case. Considering the whole deal with Heiwei, we're probably the best people for the job anyway. Oh, you're a lifesaver. Now you really have to put my all into this year's competition. Can you explain a bit more about what you'd like us to help you with? Of course. Well, firstly, with the Liu family's trading business having gone under, several places have been unable to stock enough imported ingredients. From what I heard, Weha Fandian and Orion has been hit the worst. But Italian restaurant and that food truck in Newtown have apparently been just fine. Actually, Menchao's food truck seems to be doing more than fine. I knew I could count on you, Shanjan. Thanks for looking into it for me. As for our place, I believe we have what we need for the time being. However, if at all possible, there's one thing I was hoping you might find for me. Oh, and that would be. It's a slightly unusual type of Laoju by the name of Kanfeng Quan. The person who ran the brewery passed away a while ago, and they closed down not long after. It's become quite a collector's item. I'm not sure how many bottles of it are even left now, but I just know it would be perfect for the dish I'm planning to make. Got it. We'll see if we can manage it. Thank you. If it ends up costing anything, I'll take care of the fees, so please feel free to tell them to put it on my tab. And even if you can't find it, I can still make do, so try not to worry too much. Okay, you kind of made it sound like there were more issues than just not having enough ingredients, though. Well, it's a bit hard to explain, but it almost seems like someone's trying to sabotage the competition. In fact, just this morning I found some of the cooking wine in our pantry smashed to pieces. Wouldn't be surprised if Italian's head chef was behind it all. Guess we better go see what the other participants have to say. That'll give us some insight on the who done it. It should also help us figure out the supply issues. I would really appreciate it. Please let me know if you find anything.
You have my support,
Now
Mr.
I can read the
Arkwright.
comment. You only had one zero. You always try not to use items that love your guys real good, not problems with boss fights, and merely use S-crafts. Try to win with magic and all that. You're an old gamer from turn-based times. Understandable. S-craft spam is a viable strategy, and I believe like building your characters to spam crafts is actually pretty decent. I haven't tried it myself, but once I get enough cores, I'm going to try to do it because I need to get the 100 combo achievement thing, which it would be easily gotten if you it would be easily gotten if we just stacked cast 1, cast 2, the bell that provides that cuts the casting time of wind arts to a third, and then just equipping aerial dust on everybody, and they'll just spam it. 100 chain combo. Yes. Let's see. Which ones do I even have? Because I have cast 1 and 2, but I can't really stack cast 1 and cast 2 yet. And it's... Here it is. Airy Verse. I would like to get the upgraded version of this one, so we can get essentially to a close to 100% delay. Ideally. Because I couldn't get everybody to spam aerial dust when we had advantage, which... annoying, but is what it is. Hey, isn't that lady... Is she a friend of yours? But I heard about her. I think she's a hostess over at Italian restaurant. Oh, I get where you're going with this. Your head chef is supposed to be taking part in the cook-off. Let's go see if she knows something. Well, well, it isn't the prodigy. And I take it you're this brigand? Should have figured a hostess for a live family restaurant would be in the know. So, what does the little boy from Lou want with me? Not really a little boy anymore, but whatever. We just got a couple questions we'd like to ask you. You accidentally found a gimmick to win the last boss of this game. Well, personally, if it's something about the last boss, I would not like to hear it, because I am a big advocate for no spoilers. Yeah, because you killed off most of your guys, that's kind of funny. Did the final boss get surrounded by the dead bodies so he actually got stuck? Because I could totally believe that happening. Bosses need a teleport option in their fights, I guess, if that's the case. Yeah, I promise we're not looking for a fight with the lie. We were just curious about the head chef at the restaurant you work for. We hear you got an invitation to the Great Langport Cook-Off. Oh, so that's what this is about. Yeah, Yonsu's been pretty excited about it. The restaurant may be closed for the moment, but he's blocked off an entire section of the kitchen to prepare for the event. Wow, he must be really fired up for it. Well, he takes a lot of pride in being a chef at one of Langport's finest establishments. He was feeling a bit let down by the closure, but this cook-off sure has lit a spark under him. While we're on the topic, do you happen to know if he's run into any issues while preparing for the competition? I don't recall hearing much of anything from him, really, no. The only thing I can say is that he's been feeling a lot of pressure lately because of everything that's happened with the Lai family. I see. That makes sense. We're just doing what we can to support the cook-off, so please tell him to give us a holler if he needs anything. Got it. I'll let him know. Thanks for the offer. Yeah, that's why you're a bit worried about your not spoil anything. You don't think you found... You don't think that you found a gimmick as a spoiler? If it was, sorry. It is not a spoiler unless you, like, say explicitly what it is. Like, if I find it myself when I get to the fight, I'll know it because I don't really know who the final boss is. My guess is that it would involve the Crimson Grendel in some way, but I got no idea. Where are we going now? Got a few places to go. Didn't we get a new recipe? Well, if it's in Van & Company, how can I help you? Asian tells us you're going to be competing in the cooking competition. She wanted us to come check on you. That girl is such a sweetheart, always looking out for others. You could stand to learn a thing or two from her, Wuhan. Of course, dear. I'll be sure to do just that. Anyway, she said you guys were running a little low on some ingredients. Yeah, I was hoping to go with something a bit more expensive for my competing dish. I want to get my hands on some fresh red crab, but the seafood traders seem to be out right now. Red crab meat is used quite often in Eastern cuisine, isn't it? I hear it carries a high price tag because it can only be found in a very few select locations. In the West, it's also known as carmine crab. Wow, that's a pretty fancy choice for a restaurant like yours. But I guess what you're saying is that due to the Liu family's trading being frozen, they're in low supply right now. Exactly. There are some other suppliers around here that we're friends with, but they're fresh out too. And to hear them tell it, someone came in and bought out their whole stock. Bought their whole stock? Maybe that's what Meishin meant by sabotage. Possible. In this case, I think we can help them out if we just find another way to get some crab. We'll look into the supply shortages on our end. If anything else comes up, please let us know. Just try and focus on your cooking for the time being. Thank you for your help. It really means a lot to us. He also stream for fun on YouTube. Starting a new East game, East 10 Nordics. I know the series has been a good JRPG series. If I'm interested, I have beaten all of the East games except for East Nordics because I am waiting for the game to be localized with the enhanced version. Proud Nordics. All I really need for my dish is some red crab meat. I really appreciated you finding some for me, but I'll let you figure out the best way of going about it. Okay. Next district.
Let's be on our way.
Yeah, I have like a whole list of games that I need to beat, and it just keeps growing larger and larger as time goes on because I can't play through these dang games fast enough. Which reminds me, I need to play through
So-
I need to play through Tales of Destiny DC because there was a bunch of guys that let's see, they translated the game because it never got translated. Do I have a favorite in the E series? Yours was Lacrimosa of Dana. That is my favorite as well. It is a very, very good game. Step right up, everyone. Don't be shy. Come and taste the next generation of Eastern cuisine. I've prepared plenty, so come and get as many as you like. No matter how many I eat, I never get tired of that flavor. I could have this stuff for every meal. Right? It's almost like I find something new to enjoy with every bite. I was licking my lips at the thought of the new dish, but I never thought it'd be this delicious. I just can't stop eating them. This stuff might even be better than Palladial duck. Looks like business is booming. This must be the new food truck Mation mentioned. Just looking at it is making me hungry. Since we're here and all, do you think maybe we could grab some too? To be honest, I've been wanting to try it myself. Sure, I don't see why not. Sounds like they're not hurting for ingredients, so maybe they'll have some info for us. And so, Ben and the others moved to the back of the line to patiently wait their turn. Luckily, they had avoided coming during the lunch rush. The group had only had to wait about 10 minutes before finding themselves at the counter. Welcome! What can I get you today? We take great pride in everything we serve. Not too familiar with this new Eastern cuisine, actually. Got any recommendations? I'd say our most popular dish right now is our Millennium Duck. We use traditional Palladial duck as our inspiration for a recipe. But prepping duck takes a lot of work, and it can get pretty expensive, right? So, after years of hard work and research, we've come up with something even tastier than the original, and without having to break the bank. You know, I've had real Palladial duck over at the Kowloon Hotel's restaurant before. This sounds like it could be pretty great if it actually holds up. Palladial duck. The name makes it sound so expensive. It's nice that we get to try something like that on the cheap. At first, I thought it was some form of Eastern crepe. It seems to be stuffed lao bing that's been folded like a taco. Given how simple it is to eat on the go, I can see why it would be so popular. Guess that's part of what makes it taste so good. Okay, we'll take one each then. Thank you for your business. Enjoy. Ben and the others received their orders of Meng Zhao's Millennium Duck. By the way, I heard you're going to be taking part in that cook-off that's coming up. A friend asked us to help out with it a bit. Think you could use our assistance? I see. That's awfully kind of you, but no, I can't really think of anything at the moment. Oh, and I'm sorry, but it looks like you got other customers waiting. Would you mind stepping to the side? Sure. Sorry about that. We'll get out of your hair for now. Ever played the Shadowheart series? It's only 3 main games and 2 sort of included. Kodelka, can't remember the last one. I have not played the Shadowheart series. The name sounds vaguely familiar. You know what? We'll take a break from dialogue for a second. I'm gonna Google it. Shadowhearts. It's a bunch of PS2 titles. First release, Kodelka. So 1999 is Kodelka, and then we have Shadowhearts, Shadowhearts Covenant, and Shadowhearts from the New World. So let's see. We have synopsis on the Wikipedia. So it's an 1898 story follows Kodelka Lassange. She covers the supernatural mystery in the Haunted Manor while not bearing the series title. It takes place in the same setting as the later games. And then Shadowhearts is the first entry in the series proper. It's taking place in 1913 and 14, so like 15 years later. And then Shadowhearts 2 follows up on Shadowhearts being 6 months later. And then From the New World, set in America. In the Americas. But it doesn't look like it specifies a specific year in that one. Combo Trial. Strike. Wonder how it reviewed. Dodeca, not very well, but the other 3 Shadow Hearts titles got reviewed fairly well. 73, 85, 76 with aggregate scores. One of the best games ever. Really good story. Well, Shadow Hearts and Shadow Hearts 2. New Order wasn't that good, though. Funnily enough, the aggregate review score is better than Shadow Hearts 1 from the New World. I can add that to the list. I really should be adding more series here anyway. Why not? It's not what I'm going to play next. I already know what I'm going to be playing once I beat this game. But, yeah. Let's see, how do we, shift enter? Shift enter. So, Shadow Heart series. And I would play I would basically play all of them, as I usually do. I'm a glutton for punishment, I guess. I mean, after all, I did play through... I haven't gone through, like, the better games. I believe so far I've played through the worst that the Shin Megami Tensei games have to offer. At least the SNES titles. Covenant. And from the New World. Yeah, it's added to the list. A new entry for the first time in almost 1.5 years. A new whole entry. Because I have a section that's just for a bunch of one-off games or ones that have like only 2 titles in their series. You know, that sort of stuff. Anyway, we should probably continue on so we can actually get to the story. Oh, this stuff's really good. Meat's so tender, too. I'm surprised its prices are so low. Even the skin's all nice and crispy. Gives off that authentic palladial duck texture. Yes, the spices you used give it a very distinct flavor. It certainly leaves you wanting more. What's the matter, small fry? Don't care for it? No, it's not that. It's definitely tasty. I don't know how to put it, really. Well, don't mind me. I think the herbs used just don't agree with my stomach, that's all. That's odd. What's that nose picking up?
Welcome.
Is it possible that the dude is racist? I'd believe it.
My, this is positively delectable.
Well, Mr. Arkwright, what brings you to our humble establishment today? You were planning to participate in the Great Long Pork Cook-Off. Nation asked us if we wouldn't mind helping you out. I see. Always so selfless, that one. A little surprised that you guys are going to be taking part, though. Sounds like the different houses in Hayway have a bit of a stake in this whole thing. Well, you do make a fair point. You didn't want to let Mei Shin down after she put so much effort into putting on the event. He really has a way with people, huh? Yeah, that makes sense. He seems to do a lot for the community. I just realized something. I need to shut my window. I opened it earlier because it was stuffy. But now it rained earlier and now my room is muggy. Yes. There we go. Yuri's a really funny character, a mix of Squall and Zidane. I love it. Can't remember which Final Fantasy was Zidane from. Okay, it was 9. It's been a very long time since I played 9. And I played it with a friend. It was a fun game. Yeah, that makes sense. She seems to do a lot for the community. Anyway, she mentioned that you guys are having trouble getting your hands on certain ingredients. Yeah, I suppose that about sums up the situation. I'm trying to figure out if we can make substitutes, but we haven't been able to obtain any Jade Dragon's Eye. I'm afraid I haven't heard of that ingredient before. Oh, right, my apologies. Jade Dragon's Eye is a top brand of long gun fruit. It's extremely high quality. It's also exactly what we need to have a fighting chance in the competition. I know long gun fruit. It's the stuff they always put in Eastern medicine. All I need is some high quality long gun then. Easy. If it's used in medicine, then maybe there's a stock of them reserved for medical use somewhere? Perhaps they might even have some of a higher quality they'd be willing to share. Seems pretty straightforward. We'll go check with somebody who might have some medical supplies stashed away. You have to make some food before you work. It's 6:30 a.m. there because you're from Finland. Keep playing. Hope you have a great weekend. Yeah, you too, Leymari. Have a good weekend. It's currently Thursday for me. It's 11:30 here in Michigan in the U.S. And I have a long day tomorrow because I have to do some driving. I was given the opportunity to work remotely. However, I have to go into the office to turn in my timesheet. So yeah. Anyway, have a good weekend. I will take the Shadowheart series recommendation to heart. I do not know when I'll get around to it though, because there is so many good games that I need to play. So many games, not enough time, and yeah. If only I can make a living off of playing video games. Unfortunately, I don't have that kind of life. It's pretty straightforward. We'll go check with somebody who might have some medicinal supplies stashed away. By the way, Kuino, have you had any other issues lately? Like somebody doing anything to mess with your food or something? Now that you mention it, we have, yeah. Although it was rather minor, all things said and done. This morning, I found that some of our plumbing out back was damaged. There was water everywhere. We had someone come out and fix it right away, so it wasn't a complete disaster, thankfully. But we just had new plumbing put in last year. It was like someone did it intentionally. Yeah, that does sound pretty fishy. Might just be a coincidence, but it's still worth a suspicion, I think. We can look into that more on our side, though. For now, just focus on keeping your customers fed. Thanks for all your help. I'll go ahead and get on back to work then. Be seeing ya. Alright, seems like we got a handle on how all the participants are doing now. And out of 5 restaurants, 3 of them seem to be dealing with interference from somebody. But we still can't say for sure that it's a rival business that did it. Rihana Fandian and Horion seem to be the only 2 that were lacking ingredients. Although Miss Mei Shin did ask us to obtain a bottle of Laijiu as well. Laojiu. And old man Wuhan wants some red crab. I'm pretty sure I've seen crabs like that over in the Second Ward's waterways. There were fat, juicy looking ones too. They ought to be good enough. You get that spot them over by the cigar shop. In that case, let's head over and see if we can catch one real quick. I know they're supposed to be rare, but we should be able to find a few with shard search. With those jade dragon eyes, we'll probably have to rely on some medical supplies. I might suggest Longkai Clinic or the nearby temple. They both are known to mix herbal remedies. One or the other should suffice, I would think. That just leaves the Laojiu that Mei Shin was asking for. I'm not positive, but I know a guy who might be able to get his hands on some. Anyway, let's get out there, find what we can, and keep an eye out for anything suspicious. Come on.
My, this is positively delectable.
Alright.
Off we go.
So start from the first ward and work our way forward. I'll try save. Same here. Then again, still gonna have to go out all the time and always sit and playing video games. Yeah, I got too many hobbies.
Stop by for a drink.
Cause I got dragged into
Step right
40K enjoying that hobby. And I've been a DM for my friend's D&D group that I started. Like we literally started it before the whole lockdown, so before 2020, and this campaign is still going.
Well,
Worth it. Hey, Jigen. Mind if I ask you for a little favor? A Of course. What's going on this time, man? Looking for some kind of antique? Sort of, actually. It's got something to do with your hobby. You've always had a thing for vintage wines, right? Oh, I get it now. Guess this wouldn't be too surprising for him to have a bottle lying around. We're looking for Changfeng Quan. It's from a brewery that closed down a while back. You know it? Well, hold on there. That's what you're looking for? You're kidding. So you do have it? Well, it wouldn't do me any good to lie about it. Yeah, I've actually got 3 bottles. The only thing is I bought them for myself. Wasn't exactly planning on selling them off. Oh, come on, man. I've got 3. Why not suck it up and sell us one? I didn't buy 3 because I was planning to sell any. 1 was to drink, 1 was to keep in storage, and the last one was for spreading the good word. Now I'm gonna be real with you here for a minute. I love cake, but even I don't buy extra for storing and proselytizing. Be honest, man. If you knew they wouldn't go bad, you totally would. Anyway, you've got one for spreading the word, then this seems like a pretty good opportunity, don't you think? Come on, share the love, buddy. What do you mean? You see, the Great Longport Cook-Off's coming up, and Meishin wants to use that wine for her entry. If she wins using her spare Chifengquan, there might be a whole new run of the stuff. That's true. If there's enough good publicity, maybe someone might consider investing in rebuilding the brewery. I see. I hadn't thought of it that way. Alright, you lot have convinced me. But I'm still a businessman. I insist on being paid appropriately for it. Meishin already gave us the okay to put it on her tab, so just charge it to her, okay? And Chifengquan. Sounds good. Give Meishin my best. It'll be worth it if I get some good buzz for my store. Well, that part's out of our hands. Here's the bottle, though. 1 SP get.
What'll it be? Thank you.
And you'll never guess what happened next.
Is like getting the... Oh yeah, getting the wine was optional, wasn't it? Like, she was like, okay if we didn't get it. But I mean, if we just go around talking to people, we just end up getting it anyway.
Heavenly Mother, please watch over us.
Oh, hello, Aaron. And I believe I've seen the rest of you around before as well. Is something the matter? Well, see, we know a guy that's looking for a type of long-known fruit called Jade Dragon Eye. We know they can be pretty rare, but we were hoping that you might be willing to share a few with us, if you have any, that is. Jade Dragon's Eye, you say? Yes, we actually have a few of those. They're quite useful for the church's medicinal mixtures, so we make sure to procure some periodically. Although I hear that supply chain disruptions have been making it difficult to get a hold of them. Yeah, that's why we ended up coming to you for help. Apparently, Orion and Newtown won't be able to make their dish for the big cook-off without him. Oh, I had no idea. Well, in that case, let me provide you with as many as you need. Jade Dragon's Eyes. So these are Jade's Dragon's Eyes. They're a lot bigger and smoother than your typical long gun fruit. Sure you're okay with giving us this many, though? Considering recent events, I would like to do my part to ease everyone's spirits as much as possible. We're extremely grateful for your assistance, sir. I am curious, though. You all have been recruited to help with the contest, yes? Yeah, that's right. Is there something else you think we should know about? Well, it's just that there's this young man named Meng Xiao. This will be his first time competing in the cook-off. However, I'm a bit concerned by the throngs of people that suddenly seem so wound up over his food. I mean, when something's that popular, you're bound to have some people who go completely nuts over it. Indeed. In fact, a very passionate fan recommended that I try the dish as well, so I went to go and sample some. But when I arrived, I was informed they had only just sold out. I still have yet to try one. Dang, that's some unfortunate timing. Still, I'm surprised they'd run out so suddenly. Meng Xiao sounded like he had plenty when we were there. In any case, we've been asked to deal with any problems that might pop up during the cook-off. We'll do everything in our power to make sure it goes smoothly as possible, so try to relax and enjoy yourself. Yeah, I think the dude's racist. I will, and please let me know if you need help with anything else in the meantime.
Heavenly Mother, please watch over us.
Please who have offered assistance with the cooking competition. It's truly a blessing to be able to continue with those social events. They do wonders in keeping everyone's spirits up. And now we catch a fish in the second ward.
What are we waiting for?
Just one more quick.
Ooh, this looks like a good fishing spot.
Question mark.
There!
Well,
That's it!
There we go.
So...
I think I
One
caught me
crab
a
get.
rare one.
B rank. Aw. Caught a red crab. Looks like we got ourselves a big one. Not sure what Wuhan's plan to make with it, but he shouldn't have any complaints about a crab this big. I suppose we should move on to the next item then. Hey, did you hear about what happened with Yon Su over at Taoyan restaurant? Sure did. Guess he's gonna be competing in the cook-off after all. Seems like trouble follows that guy everywhere he goes. Yeah, all that business with the Lai family already had him in a real tizzy, and you know just how weird he can be. Somebody so hard to please, he sure is awkward. Maybe that's what makes his food so good, though. So we have two suspicious stuff going on. Alright, looks like we got everyone's missing ingredients. We heard a few interesting tidbits of info along the way, too. We should probably deliver the ingredients to each of the shops and then head back to Mei Shin's place. Even got the Lai Zhu shoes after. We should get back to her soon so she could prep her dish. And the others delivered the ingredients to Guiafandian and Hairen. After that, they returned to Mei Shin and told her about everything they learned. I'm so glad I put out the request. I feel much better about putting on the cook-off now. 1 second. There we go. It's all part of the job. There's still some time left before the event is scheduled to start, by the way. I'm sure you must be tired, so you're more than welcome to rest here before we begin. Not a bad idea. We'll hold off for now. Sorry, but we still have a few things we need to do first. We'll be back in a bit. Of course, please take your time.
Welcome to Life.
Let's see, there's no side quests.
Dian.
So all I want to do is save. Because we probably have a choice to make in the middle of this. Alright, we'll take you up on that. Managed to decompress a little bit. Oh, almost forgot. Here's your Lao Shu. That's the Tifeng Quan. I can't believe you managed to find some. Well, I had a few connections. He wasn't able to give it to me for free though, so I hope you don't mind that I asked him to send the bill your way. Not at all. This will be just what my dish needs. You hyped it up so much, I'm sure it won't disappoint. Sounds like you got plenty to look forward to at least. Anyway, let's wait here until it's time for the event to start. The chefs are here. Looks like the participants are filling in. And are those the judges? Yeah, Mei Shin on both host and duty and participating, they had to call in some impartial third-party judges. Usually the judges are non-participating shop owners from the Chamber of Commerce. You know, stuffy people like that. Gulp. Guess it's time for the battle to begin. Yeah, there's still a bit before they get started though. I'm actually gonna step away for a minute. I might not be back in time for the opening ceremony, but you guys have a good time without me. Wonder what he's gonna do. Huh. I wanted to make sure the competition went smoothly. I'm also excited for us all to watch together. It's no big deal, just something I wanted to look into real quick. I'll be back as soon as I can. I wonder what's wrong. Yeah, it's not like the first time he's gone off on his own. I'm sure I'll be fine. Oh. Well, it's unfortunate that we were unable to hold the competition at Kowloon Hotel as planned. It is Lai Fu Fanyan's sincere pleasure to host this year's Great Longport Cook-Off. I'm sure you all must have a lot on your minds given everything that's happened in Longport recently. That sure is taking his time. I know he said he might not make it back for the opening ceremony, but... Hey, see that guy in the end over there? Isn't that the head chef from Taoyan? Yeah, he looks kinda grouchy. I'm surprised they'd send him an invitation given the situation. Maybe that's what Van's looking into right now. But we can worry about that later. Looks like the show's about to get started. Alright, our first contestant is Wuhan from Guiafandian, a beloved stop in the eastern quarter for travelers and locals alike. Oh, a red crab dish, eh? That's quite an expensive ingredient for a place like Guia. Well, I thought it might be a good idea to go all out for a change. It's a fairly... We only caught a single crab. How are there multiple crabs on that plate? On all of those plates? It's a fairly standard Longport-style steamed crab dish. Given the quality of the ingredients, I hope you find it to your liking. This is making me hungry. He did a really good job with that red crab. Guess old man Wuhan is capable of some pretty fancy stuff when he puts his mind to it. My, that was excellent. You can really taste how fresh the crab is. Still, as excellent as the ingredients may be, I think it's lacking a little something. Yes, if only you had something extra to draw out all the flavors. For my dish, I prepared a stew containing assorted seafood from along the eastern coastline. I call it Boshadan. The dried goods work together to create a multifaceted soup stock with a harmonious flavor. Oh, I've heard of this soup. I'm told it's exquisite. Impressive. It certainly seems like a dish worthy of Hauran. Yeah, their food draws from elements of Long-Lai's cuisine and other Far Eastern places. You can tell a lot of care went into making it. Well, I usually prefer my food Longport style. I do get in the mood for stuff like that every now and then. This is fantastic work. Exactly what I expect of Horion. There's a bitterness and odor to it not unlike some herbs used in Eastern medicine. The way it's blended together in terms of taste and aroma are top class. The most impressive thing is a long on fruit. This is Jade Dragon's Eye, isn't it? Provides an excellent accent to the flavor. Looks like you're next, Yonsu. I know a lot has happened recently, but I trust you've been doing alright since then. For the most part, yes. Today I prepared avalones in a thick glaze. The glaze itself is made from dried shark's fin and edible bird's nest. What? I commend you for using such high-quality seafood. I should have expected nothing less from the head chef of such a refined establishment. Nom. It's the Lai family's restaurant for you. Just rich enough to have bad taste. It seems as though the judges are responding quite favorably to it, though. That was excellent. You certainly made the most of those ingredients. Yes, I agree. It feels like a very tried and true approach. Next up, we have my sister. For today's competition, I prepared a unique free-range chicken dish called Baksunji. I'm especially proud of this one. It's chicken steamed with carefully selected wine and spices that help bring out a lovely aroma. I've heard much about you, Meishin. I'm impressed that you've earned the rank of Teiji Shu. Yeah, I cannot pronounce this. Teiji Chushi. At such a young age. I'm looking forward to seeing the skills you develop from your days back at the Kowloon Hotel. It's finally Mei Shin's turn, but Van's still not back yet. Yeah, I should have at least been here for her presentation. Especially considering she's using the Laoju we obtained for her. Oh my, this is fantastic. The various fragrances combined with such a delicate taste. And all preserving the delicious flavor of the chicken itself. It's marvelous work. That's certainly not all. I can tell there's something special about the wine you simmered the chicken in. It takes the bird's light flavors and colors with spices, resulting in a superb balance. Finding the right wine to produce such a near-perfect dish must have been next to impossible. Yes, I was confident it would all come together if I used Tianping Huan. That famous wine? I see. Now I understand why the taste was so familiar. Makes it all the more regrettable that the brewery closed down some time ago. Yes, I would love to see it make a resurgence someday. Great job, sis. We got the word out. For my first cook-off, I'll be entering my renowned Millennium Duck. The seasoning is sure to hook even the most discerning palate. Oh, so this is the dish that's been so popular lately. Let's give it a taste then. It's hard to describe, but it's completely captivating. With this flavor and aroma, it's like I can't stop myself. I never had anything like it. This is the first time I've ever experienced anything like this. How did you prepare such a delightful concoction? Let's just say I put a lot of work into my secret ingredient. It's water. Ordinary water. It's mostly LSD. I feel completely blindsided. Must be even better than I'd heard. I just wonder. No way. Mia's food was good and everything, but don't you think they're exaggerating? It sounds like the winner's been decided already. I'm surprised he managed to reel in all 3 judges. Hold on a minute. Ah, damn, it looks like I'm too late. Damn right you are. Where you been, man? The cook-off's almost over. Wait, why is Doc Lon Kai with you? I told you I had to look into something, didn't I? Just took a little longer than expected. Look, I hate to do this in the middle of such a big event, but there's a problem with Meng Xiao's cooking. Not only are you interrupting the competition, but now you're trying to slander me? It ain't slander. I kept some of the food we bought from you in some containers. I had Dr. Lon Kai examine some of it for me, and boy, that sure is one hell of a secret ingredient you got there. Indeed. One of the so-called spices we found in his Millennium Duck is Logacao, a medicinal herb compendium listed as a hallucinogen. It is fucking LSD. One with a pleasurable but addictive side effects. These days, it's considered to be quite the rarity. I'm curious how you managed to come up with so much of it. Yeah. You fed us something that dangerous? What should we do? Are you going to be okay? Fortunately, it's not so toxic as to directly affect the body unless routinely ingested. It can be counteracted through treatment from most practitioners of Eastern medicine, including myself. There's no need for panic. But the fact remains that this guy deceived everyone into eating his drugged food. That explains why I felt so weird when I tried it earlier. Oh, that's why it wasn't given to the dude from the church. He didn't want to give the church dude the LSD tacos. You bastard. You had to go pull up something like this on top of all the other crap we'd been dealing with from Hayway. Oh, horrible. You're a disgrace to all chefs. No, you don't even deserve that to carry that title. But how do you manage to supply himself with so much of such a rare herb? His prices are rather low, too. That's right. How could I have gotten my hands on this stuff in the first place? If you only tested one batch, then who's to say somebody didn't plant it there just to make me look bad? True. Yes, it would be pretty difficult for you to gather a stock of something so uncommon. If you were working alone, that is. But what if someone with access to it was working behind the scenes to help you out? See, somebody's been sabotaging the other businesses, and the only places unaffected were your food truck and Taoyuan restaurant. But compared to you, Taoyuan doesn't have much of a motive. I see. Practically everyone in Longport's got their eye on the Lai family right now. Something like this would be a fine nail in their coffin. But you, on the other hand, had the perfect motive for getting your hands on those herbs. And for finding someone to get them for you. Yeah, to make sure his collaborator wouldn't lose face, he had to make sure that he'd win. That's why he started messing with the other restaurants. That all sum it up, Meng Xiao? I don't know what you're talking about. You're just out to get me. I would never vandalize her and her life Italian. I mean, that's odd. I didn't say a thing about anyone being vandalized. You sure seem awful knowledgeable about it, though. Just give yourself up already. There's no getting out of it now. With this much evidence, we won't even need to get Hayway involved. Care to tell us about how you procure those herbs? Looks like the jig is up. Oh man, how am I ever going to explain this to him? After Van's confrontation, both bracers and police officers arrived on the scene to escort Meng Xiao away. With his disqualification, the judges at the Great Longport Cook-Off took a moment to reconvene. Well, in spite of that little incident, the judges have now concluded their deliberation. Do we have a verdict on the winner? We do. The dish that's shown the best and brightest among all those sampled this evening. It's the one we got the wine for. Was that of Life of Fanian's very own Mei Shen. Really? I'm honored. Way to go, Mei Shen. In the end, we decided it was your use of the Lai Chu that truly won us over. Thank you so much. I promise to keep aiming for even greater heights. That's what my father would have wanted. Who would have thought that wine would end up being the deciding factor? I guess it was worth the effort after all. As Meng Xiao's misdeeds were revealed, albeit in a rather unexpected manner, the cooking competition came to a close. The participants, having learned a few new things about their cooking, headed back to their respective businesses. Thank you again for all your help with this year's cook-off. Although I feel like the only reason I won was because you were able to find me that Feng Quan. I think that was probably correct. Nah, that was just the last little push. That was just the last little push to put you over the edge. Even without the wine, you would have been getting nothing but rave reviews. Your skill's the real deal. Be that as it may, it was only because of you that Meng Xiao was exposed for what he really is. Yeah, Dr. Lan Kai said it's a good thing you stopped him when you did. You caught it right before his regular customers would have started getting sick from the stuff. He said they should be fine if they can go without it for about a week. I'm just surprised you even noticed something was off. I definitely thought it was odd how strongly people were reacting to his food, but I never imagined. Yeah, that was part of it, but I think that really tipped me off was the fact that he was avoiding serving people with the knowledge of medicine. Remember what Father Hosang over at the temple told us? He said that when he went to give the dish a try, they told him they were fresh out. Yet, when we were there, he made it sound like he had more than enough to go around. He didn't seem the least bit worried about me in demand. It felt like a pretty unlikely coincidence to me, so I figured I should look into it. Yeah, timing was just a little too perfect. By the way, you mentioned that drug he was using is pretty rare. Ever figure out how he got the stuff? I accessed their databases, but I haven't been able to determine a possible access channel. According to the police, even Meng Xiao didn't know much about his collaborator's origin. So, in other words, he was probably being used. The only question is, what would somebody have to gain from having a cook feed hallucinogens to the general public? You said it. The only thing I could think of is that they were using it as some sort of test. Maybe it was to see how far they could push the law while still keeping under the radar. It looks like the jig is up. Oh man, how am I gonna explain this to him? Dan? Oh, sorry, I was just thinking. Anyway, I think that I'll take care of your request for now. You've got other business to attend to, so we'll catch you later. Of course. I'm so glad I turned to you for help. Please feel free to stop by any time.
Mission accomplished. Great job,
We
you
get a
guys.
big law
Reward
boost.
deposited.
Aw, minor law boost. Oh, new item. I really must thank you again. Asking you for help was definitely the right choice. And now that I've proven to everyone how much my cooking has improved, I can start training to achieve even greater heights. Do all of the shops have new items? Baksunji, an aromatic steamed dish invented by Lifu Fanyan's Mei Shen.
Thanks a bunch.
Thanks for the grub.
Well, I guess we should investigate the other shops then, shouldn't we?
Go, go, go!
Wrong button. Nope, he does not have a new dish. Out of pure panic, I'm going to check anyway. I can't believe Meng Xiao would do something like that. Well, at least we made it through the competition. Would have been a disaster without your help.
Hello there.
Thank you.
Then we hit the new
Let's
town,
be on our
right?
way.
I think. Yeah, this restaurant over here. It's like I try to remember the layout, immediately forget it. Then I see it, and then I remember.
Welcome.
My, this is positively delightful.
I was only able to hold my own this year thanks to you all. I've learned a lot during this competition. Here's hoping I only get better from here. Alright. Ooh, that is the story. That is all the side quests that we can do. I think we should just continue the story just with this part. Once we're done here, we'll save the game and call it a night.
So that's our duty.
Okay. Next ship should be.
Let's do this thing.
Aw.
The mechs have been delivered. The combat drill will proceed as scheduled.
Very good. This will be the first drill since we were officially deployed. I fully expect you to provide me with some excellent data.
Of course. We will try to meet your expectations, sir.
Kasim! Hello, Mirabelle. It's very nice to see you again.
What are they doing with the Navy? And is that the Basel professor?
Yes, it is. Qasim Al-Fayed. And what was the professor's name?
Greetings, Farragut.
Cronkite.
I had heard you were in the city.
Cronkite was his last name.
And it's been some time since our last encounter, Van. Been a bit, yeah. Haven't seen you since the end of last year. I heard you went back to your hometown, like your little sis.
He always comes home for our New Year's festival. Though I didn't expect to run into you again so soon.
Nor did I. Perhaps it is the will of Arusha and the Flames. And it's good to see you too, Mirabelle. Been a while since you and I met face to face.
Yeah, well, I call you up a lot for our Marian Garten work, so it doesn't feel like it's been that long. But I'll bet you anything Rosette was as giddy as a schoolgirl to see you again.
I was quite happy, yes. Thank you for facilitating my return to Arkwright Solutions. I'm in your debt once more.
Aw, don't mention it, girl. Just treat me to a coffee as usual, and we'll be square.
Her hair is clipping through her right arm.
I'm guessing the redhead is Erin Way, and you must be the Chief's adorable little sister. Thanks a bundle for always having Rosette's back. You guys are the best.
The pleasure's all ours.
Damn. The two of you couldn't be any less alike if you tried.
Yes, we get that a lot.
We meet again, Spriggan. I'm curious as to what brings you here to Longport.
He hasn't introduced
I heard
himself
all about
yet,
what transpired in Messeldom.
so they can't
You
show
and
his
Petra had quite
his
the
eyes.
fascinating little excursion by the sound of things.
You know, usual trails things.
Word sure does travel fast these days.
Professor Young Cronkite.
Let's move to a better spot. Then you can regale me with the finer details.
There's like a weird background glitch. Got it. We're finally starting to deploy all those fancy new armaments. Because that explains why Marduk's here. Guess they're helping those assault frames field ready. They're helping get those assault frames field ready, right? It's been several years since the Empire's Panzer Soldats were first developed, but it's taken the Republic until now to make a similar weapon. Marduk and Vern have been working together with our security division, taking the lead on conducting training exercises at each location. The Navy's thinking about developing some with enhanced waterproofing too. And since Professor Cronkite here is one of the developers, he came along as a consultant. It can be used in naval combat? That's so cool. Cool isn't the word I'd use, it's freaking scary. Military's getting real strong real fast. I'd do anything to figure out what that president guy's up to. This country's arming itself to the teeth and I don't like it. At least it doesn't seem like he's trying to go the route the Empire did. Yet. Anyway, that Almada's legacy matter sounds fascinating. Whether it's connected to the unfolding conflicts in the city or not, I can't be certain. However, it likely bears some relation to your risk management AI's recent assessment, don't you think? Yes, I agree. Oh, yeah? That's the thing Rosette's employer uses, right? Correct. It's a high-performance AI system used for crisis management. We have it installed in the main terminal at Marduk HQ. It collates and consolidates data on people, geography, history, and economy, and then calculates the danger levels of a targeted area or the threat levels of an entity or organization. Yep, it's basically the cornerstone of Marduk Total Security Company's main line of business. What's puzzling is the AI assigned Longport the Red Zone label, which is code for especially dicey. And get this, the reason it gave? Unknown. Sigh. First American Garden hijacking, now this? Small wonder that the system admin's on pins and needles. I had assumed it was simply a bug in the program, but evidently Mr. Thorndyke didn't agree. Oop. Oh yeah, I forgot about that slime ball. Dude has, like, a serpent's eyes. Like, he could pounce at you at any moment. That's the vibe I get from him, at least. That's so. Guessing he sent you and Kasim's unit here to find out what's going on. Yes, that's right. And as luck would have it, you happened to arrive at the same time. I wish to assess the situation from a new perspective, so I applied for a transfer to Arkwright Solutions, and it was readily approved. Gotcha. Well, it works out for us having you here. What's the reason behind the danger assessment? The only thing I could think of is the weird timey-wimey stuff. At present, we have no intention of meddling in the affairs of the city. However, we may reassess our stance depending on the circumstances. Nothing that transpires here will impact me or my work, so I have no obligation to help you. That said, if you come to me with something that aligns with my interests, I will at the very least consider offering some advice. You got a stethoscope shoved up your ass, Doc? Okay, well, if we end up needing you guys' help, you guys' help, I'll shoot you a message. Would you mind if we kept in touch during your stay, Maria Belle? That's what friends do, ain't it? Give me a ring anytime. Just don't slack off on your Mirhian garden floor cleaning duties, alright? Understood.
Oh, Kasim, good luck with that training exercise. I'm gonna give it my all, too.
As you should. Show us all what you gained from playing the role of the priestess at the New Year's festival.
Right.
Alright, I think we've learned all we can from just walking around the city. There are a lot of powerful people here, my brother included. There's also the Divine Blade of Silver and the Golden Butterfly, of whom are maximum level threats. There must be some reason for them coming here now of all times. Perhaps it's related to the assessment provided by the Risk Management AI. Didn't they say it labeled Longport as a red zone? That's a little worrying, isn't it? But what's more worrying is that we aren't really any closer to finding the people who framed Pan and Poison Gin. Not necessarily. Huh? What do you mean, not necessarily? The flower petal is a clue, for starters. She said she picked it up at that high-class restaurant over in the second ward. I thought it looked familiar. We picked some flowers of this kind of petal during our last trip to Longport, right? Yep, and those flowers are spring lilies. They're used at mass during funerals. It's a rare plant that can only be found offshore at the eroded cave. So, we're going there? Oh yeah, we went there on our last trip. This petal's still fresh. It must have fallen off fairly recently. The only people who would have been at the restaurant in the last couple of days would have been the remnants of the Lai family. And the Liu family members charged with handling the aftermath. Ah, we assume the petal stuck to either the clothes or the shoes of one of the Heiwei's members. And that begs the question, why were they coming and going from the cave in the first place? Somehow I can't picture Fan and Gin strolling the eroded cave picking flowers, even forgetting the fact they're out of action. Okay, I think we know our next move. Yeah, gotta rent a boat in the first ward and head to the cave. No time like the present. Let's go.
Okay. Next ship.
So
As he said, but I
I could go for some fishing.
wanna look at the fishing spots here real quick.
Let's do this thing.
Big catch puffer. Big catch puffer.
Ooh, this looks like a good fishing spot. Let's do this thing.
Big catch red perch, which I believe we have. I have to double check. Also, we have to read the extra issue. I'll do that in a second. Yeah, we have red perch. We want to talk. Let's talk to people. We'll read the extra issue and save in front of the ship we need to rent. Good. At the beginning of the year, I was approached by Marduk to act as an advisor on this case. Ever since I left campus last year, most of my energy has been focused on a rather specific project. It's looking like it will be completed in only a short manner, however, so I decided I'd lend them a hand. This place has been designated as a red zone. As for why, ever since we arrived, I've been feeling a number of strange auras in the area, although they do seem to be rather weak at the moment. In accordance with our mission parameters, we will remain on alert. Tickles me pink getting to meet you all face to face. Shame it's not the whole crew, though. Still, I've been looking forward to this ever since Rosette told me you'd be coming. It was something that I had said in passing during one of our conversations. We enjoy partaking in a bit of chit-chat on occasion. Hmm? It's nice that you get along so well. Mirabelle is technically my senior at the company, but she insists that we maintain a cheerful and friendly atmosphere with one another. That's right. In fact, it's exactly what I said on her very first day with us. You see, I provide a number of support functions as a concierge, and training the new hires is one of them. I figured if we're going to be working together, we might as well enjoy each other's company, right? So the maid was a rookie at one point too, huh? When you first joined up with Marduk anyway? That would have been about 4 years ago now. 4 years. She was only assigned to me 3 years ago. That means Mirabelle's known her even longer than I have. Rosette speaks real fondly of y'all, so I've been looking forward to meeting you myself. Seems like we'll be working together plenty more in the future though, so just let me know if you need anything, okay? Okay.
Let's do this.
Let's actually turn in our quests since we completed all of them. SP report.
Those are impressive results. Then I'll update the
Hey,
rank.
exactly 125.
I'll gladly take that.
We got Sprite, increases item healing range by 10, wind, and space. I think there was something that was wind and space in, I think, the extra slot? Maybe? Or either way. Here's our story. But, we're going to be ending in a second, but I want to read the Tyrell Times extra issue. Oh, thank goodness, it's only 2 pages. Alright. Emergency report. Fanlu arrested for tax evasion last night. Fanlu arrested for tax evasion. Last night, Fanlu, vice president of the Kowloon Financial Bank, was arrested on suspicion of tax evasion. Although details of his arrest have not been made public, Langport police officials stated they had irrefutable evidence of his malfeasance in the form of multiple falsified tax returns. Our sources claim these forms withheld important financial information, and multiple bank employees testified they were ordered to conceal and alter records. Given the severity and veracity of the evidence, the likelihood that the unreported income in question was the result of a simple accounting error appears slim. Reports indicate that much of this information was uncovered from a search conducted on Mr. Liu's private residence, but the impetus behind this full-scale investigation remains unclear. The possibility of a whistleblower tipping off authorities was raised, but representatives of the Kowloon Financial Bank and the police declined to comment on... Declined to comment on the matter. Given that the Kowloon Financial Bank is the second wealthiest financial institution in the Republic, many investors have expressed concerns over this incident's potentially drastic, far-reaching economic consequences if not resolved swiftly. The price of Kowloon Group stock is currently in freefall, and involved parties are waiting with bated breath for the truth to come to light. Furthermore, sources say that Longport tax officials have begun a sweeping audit of local companies with close ties to the Kowloon Financial Bank as a result of this incident. For the immediate future, all eyes will be on Longport. And so ends the LSD taco stream. And we will continue this next time. Until then, have a good night.